Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and this week I decided to do another finisher video. And the finisher video I'm referring to is yet another one for Mortal Kombat 1. And when I say finisher, I usually mean the fatalities or brutalities of the main roster or cameo fighters in that game. And for this additional video, we are going back into the Kombat League with Ermac and the Kameo janetcage. And we are going to be casually trying to get janetcage's brutality, no one looking. And no one looking is her brutality where she grabs the opponents and then, well, as the name kind of implies, delivers a low blow that is so powerful it knocks the eyeballs out of the skull of the opponent. And even though she does not do this, whenever I hear the title no one looking, I'm just kind of imagining janetcage looking over her shoulder in both directions looking for the referee. And then the moment she sees the referee is being distracted by something else going on just outside of the camera's view, she goes ahead and commits to that low blow, and well, it is so punishing in fact that, like I said earlier, the eyes just explode out of one's face. I don't know, something about that image in my head is super comedic, but of course, whenever the brutality is executed in this game, it's far more, well, brutal. Because naturally this is Mortal Kombat, so there's all kinds of blood and gore with pretty much everything you do to finish off the opponent. Although, in all actuality, this one is kind of tame compared to some other brutalities and fatalities. In any case, though, we are going against somebody in the Kombat League using Scorpion and the Kameo Cyrax, which means there is going to be a lot of yellow on the screen for the opposing team. Now, I know I have posted a finisher video for Ermac already, although I believe it's going to be the very first time that I am using him in combination with janetcage to highlight one of Janet's brutalities. Which this is so far the only one I have gotten for Janet. I've gotten this brutality and her fatality. I'm still kind of fishing for the other brutality for Janet, that one being titled For Johnny. And For Johnny is just this brutality version of her uppercut whenever you summon her to shadow you and she delivers some extra strikes alongside you. And to get that one, you basically have to not be delivering any strikes of your own and then have her deliver that uppercut of doom to knock off the opponent's head. Which, as I am saying that out loud, that just kind of sounds like the cameo version of the classic brutality that literally every character in the game has. Well, every main roster character. So in a way that kind of makes it one of the least interesting brutalities for the cameos in this game. But even though it may not be the most interesting, it has been the most elusive for me, so yeah, there's that at least. And you're going to kind of see me trying to get that brutality at some point in this video because I really didn't commit to this being the no one looking video until the very end of this matchup against Scorpion. And at the very end of this match, I kind of just eventually decide, you know what, I'm probably not going to get that other brutality, so I may as well at least get one brutality and make a video around that instead. And that brutality was the no one looking brutality. So gee whiz, this originally started off with me trying to get some other brutality and ended in something else entirely. Oh, an example of me trying to go for the For Johnny brutality was actually at the very end of the very first match against Scorpion. Now, I ended up winning that match by summoning Janet, and she, well, I guess there's no real way to put this delicately. She went ahead and jumped onto the screen and punched the opponent in the testicles. And that punch to the nether regions was so strong it ended up killing the opponent. Although no brutality or anything like that. The thing is, I was not summoning Janet to throw that punch down below. Instead, I was trying to summon her to shadow me so I could go for that uppercut brutality, the For Johnny brutality. But somewhere along the lines, I ended up mixing up my buttons, and instead we got something else. Granted, it was a funny way to end the very first match of this set against Scorpion, but it was not the one I was shooting for. And we did not get any brutalities in that very first match. Not to worry though, that was just one match out of an entire set. I do have to win at least one more in order to finish off this set in my favor, so I do at least have one more opportunity to get this brutality. Well, the no one looking brutality, because like I said, I don't end up getting the For Johnny one, even though I do try to get it throughout this fight. And I guess it's only appropriate to go ahead and chime in on the state of the fight as it is, because in this second match I've already taken one round, which means I only need to win one more round to win the entire set. Which is a pretty fantastic position to be in. Now, keeping in mind that I was trying to go for the For Johnny brutality initially, I would ideally have Scorpion on very low health and a really good life lead for myself, and then summon Janet so that she would shadow me and then go for that uppercut. And then it's kind of hope for the best. And to summon her like that, you have to have your entire cameo bar full. Keeping that in mind, Keeping that in mind, if your meter is not full, you'll end up doing exactly what I had to do in this fight as well, which is just stalling for as long as humanly possible until the Kameo gauge is full again and then try to summon Janet. The problem was, I end up completely throwing away this round, waiting for the Kameo gauge to completely refill, because I was very determined to try and get that brutality initially, so much so that I was willing to let my opponent come all the way back in this round and then, well, defeat me. Which then takes this match into a third and final round where, you may notice it, I pause the screen for a moment and I start looking through the attacks, and I was looking to see exactly how to do each of the brutalities for Janet just in case I could not get the one I was initially going for, which I didn't. And that's exactly how we ended up going with the no one looking brutality instead. So yeah, gee whiz. And throwing away that previous round might be biting me in the ass. I'm over here having to get my little spirit shield thanks to my spooky friend. That way my meter takes the damage from Scorpion instead of my actual health bar. And now we're just kind of hoping that I can make some kind of a comeback here because my opponent definitely has the life lead on me. Well, not too big of a life lead. At this point, I just need one kind of decent combo or just to chip away at him, and then I'll be free to go for that brutality. And there it is. I caught him in the air with a combo, so now I can go for that throw at any point. I'm jumping in for it.
Brutality. Ermac wins.
You got caged.
And there it is. That was the no one looking brutality for the Kameo Janet Cage. And I actually forgot to mention whenever I was describing this brutality earlier that whenever the eyeballs for the opponent get popped out of their head after that low blow, Janet Cage is kind enough to cover up those empty eye sockets with her sunglasses, which is a very nice touch. Yeah, I do enjoy that brutality. It's definitely a really funny one, even though it is a really simple one. Just all around, pretty nice. And so we can enjoy that brutality one more time before we part ways for this video, I'll go ahead and put the brutality again at the very end of the video, at the very end of this outro. That way we can check it out one more time before the video concludes. But yeah, with that set over and us having gotten that brutality, there's really not too much more to say for this video. I will continue hunting for the other brutality for Janet Cage, but there is no telling when exactly I'm going to be able to pull that one off and when that video is going to get posted, but we at least will eventually get to see her fatality for sure, and we'll just kind of see what happens from there. But yeah, thank you for checking out the video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to check out some of the other stuff I have on the Thor's Entertainment channel. When it comes to Mortal Kombat 1 finisher videos, I have quite a few of them at this point, and they can all be found on my channel under the Mortal Kombat 1 online playlist. I also have playthroughs of some story modes for Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11. I've got playthroughs for, various Mortal Kombat games. So if that interests you at all, feel free to check that out as well. But yeah, I guess that's really it. Thank you again for watching, and again, I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Brutality. Ermac wins.
You got caged.